Hey everybody, Charles Calhoun, aka the Shade Tree Pro, here at the beautiful Grand Vista Marriott in Orlando, Florida, where I own and operate my teaching business under the Shade Tree. And we've got a hot one today. Uh, Not only a hot one, is in the heat is hot, is what I'm getting ready to show you. Um, I was talking to one of my friends, and I was telling him, I said, a great percentage of all the issues that we have in the golf swing, far as these flaws that people come, is from my learning and understanding, is definitely from the simple fact of misunderstanding what it is that we're doing. And that biggest part is the concept of thinking that the swing starts from the ground up. And if you just think about what makes a swing, the swing is not the body. The swing is the arms, the shoulder girdles, the hands, all of that. That's what a swing is. So anything that you do to try to make the swing work, in essence, then you're getting in the way of the task. Now, one of the biggest problems that we have in the golf swing, and I talked about it, many people talked about it, and they talk about early extension, humping the goat, all of those different things. Well, I have learned that when you start from the ground up, when you push up from the ground, you do create these actions that causes the body to come out, because the body naturally wants to come out, because it doesn't really want to stay in this position that long when you put pressure on it, because the tailbone is back and the tailbone wants to get back underneath the body, which is its natural occurrence, which you can keep it under the body with a good knee flex, in essence. But what happens is that when we're not focused on what actually swings the golf club, which is, once again, shoulder girdle, arm assembly, hands, all of that is what swings the golf club, then what happens when they starting with your hips, now you get the club stuck, you get all these different things. And what happens is, like, when you do all of this from the ground up first, then you have to make compensations to try to get the arm here. You got to try to shallow it, maybe to try to get it around. All these things to match up with the simple fact is that what you started, what you're thinking is wrong from the start. And I hate to use the word wrong, but in this instance, it's wrong. Now, because the majority of the people, and I mean the great majority of the people, are always feeling this action, and that's because, once I said, the tailbone is trying to get back underneath the sternum, underneath the body, how it naturally goes. With top down, what's so great about it, with top down, because when I drop the arms, scap drop, when I drop the arms and they're already on plane, then what happens is that no matter what I do here, it can't get in the way, or it can't get outside. It can't lock this back behind, because once I scap drop, I've blocked all of this. Now I could take early extension on the trail side. I could take that early extension, or just in general, and I could use it as an advantage. Now I can bring this out. But just think about it, people. Once again, if I come here and I bring this out first, and then now I got to try to find a way to get the arms back over here, now you're in trouble. But when you scap drop and you go top down, then you want to early extend. You want to feel that come out. Now, that was one of my best finds, far as trying to, get that action and going, wow, because I put it to the test, and I said, you know what? A lot of times, when we look at something that, me personally, when I watch people do, seem like they just naturally do all the time, but yet we call it a flaw, then I start looking at how it's being taught, or is what's teaching or being taught is what's causing it to make it do that way. Because if so many people are doing it and we're doing everything to try to correct it, then my thing is that what you think may be the flaw is actually the real way of doing it, and what you're doing trying to teach it or whatever, or trying to correct it, is actually the flaw. So with top down, all we do, And I'm giving you permission to do it. Because here's another thing that happened, people. When I scap drop and the scapula and the arms go down first, then all of a sudden now, because this is blocked, when I come through here, the club actually goes back. You see what I mean? The club actually comes down. It doesn't go out. But then when I make a scap drop, well, when I do it from the ground up, and all of a sudden I early extend this way, the club gets back behind me. When it's over here, it has no other choice but to come out. And we're trying to avoid that hosel coming out. So when we do it that way, and we scap drop from the top, we can early extend all we want. We can hump the goat, hump the sheep. We can do whatever we want. And look how it just takes me there. I know there's people who do the one thing where, they get the chest. I saw that with golf tech or whatever. They push the chest this way. But the problem is when they do it, they're still talking about coming from the ground up. And that's where the problem is, people. You're not coming from the ground up. What happens is, like, when you scap drop, this has got to be the first move. And then when you turn that in, whatever, there's an action that goes up and there's action that pulls down. See, I always think that with the knee in itself, it's always going to pressure down and then pressure up. That's kind of like if you're bending something, a hinge, one's going to go one way, one's going to go the other. So when you want to strike a golf ball and you want to hit it properly, then when you go from top down, you can early extend all you want. It is actually, like I said, it is the best way to do it when you start from the top down. When you come from the ground up, then like I said, that club's going to get stuck behind you. You're going to throw that club out, and that's where early extension is bad. But when you start top down, like I said, you can early extend all you want because it's just a natural process of being able that when the arms come down, it blocks this from coming and getting you stuck behind. You heard Tiger them always talk about getting stuck. Well, the reason they was getting stuck is because, like I said, if the pelvis is in this position, it naturally wants to get us up here. It wants to get us in this position. We want to get up here to the finish. Remember, I said if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And you're late is unacceptable. So when we get here, nobody's staying in this position hitting. Eventually, that body wants to come up. And the best way to do it is the strong area here to get it there. So people, when you make your swing, don't forget that you can early extend if you scap drop from the top, leading this arm to block it, and then you can come up all you want. Hey, if you like that, definitely go out and give it a try. I already know it worked, and like I said, it'll work for you. Charles Calhoun, aka the Shade Tree Pro, you know how I do it, baby. Always good golfing.